Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning. Welcome to the Board of Commissioner meeting. Today is December 17th, 2025, the last meeting of this year, Board of Commissioner meeting for this year.
Don't say that.
Okay, I may have to take that back. This meeting is a public forum and we also have a call-in option provided. The meeting is being both video and audio recorded with minutes taken, and our meetings are also live streamed. If you wish to speak, come up to the podium, give your name and address for the record, and please keep your comments under 3 minutes. And please share if you're speaking on behalf of others. So welcome everyone. And are there any awards, recognitions, or correspondence?
But I do want to make a comment and say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all of the staff at Umatilla County and thank them for an incredible year. And work our way into a new year, but thank you to all of the staff and personnel at Umatilla County and enjoy the season. That's all.
Yeah, well said. Thank you. Okay. Commissioner Schaefer, anything?
Nope.
Approval of minutes of previous meeting, December 10th, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Are there any additions to the agenda? Okay. Public input and recognition of visitors. Sure, we're going to hear from you ladies in just a few minutes. Okay, business items. District Attorney Copier.
Good morning. I feel like the DA's office this morning is very needy because we are the top three of your on your agenda. My name is Jacqueline Jenkins. I'm Chief Deputy District Attorney here. For purposes, I guess, of a record, I seem to spend a lot of time in this office and the Hermiston office, and I believe we can consider that my address. Our first request is for approval to buy 2 new copy machines. The machines specifically are Canon ImageRunner Advanced C7260, one copy machine for Hermiston, our office there, 1 copy machine for our office in Pendleton. The cost of these machines is $18,849.60. As said in your pinky, our copy machines are old. They were bought in 2016. The average lifespan for these machines is 2 to 7 years. I can tell you what's not in your pinky from being in the Hermiston office is that we are so familiar with the copy machine guy that the office ladies know his retirement date. They have talked to him about his personal life because he is out so frequently. The machines are just old and we use them a lot for discovery and for just document creation. And so it would just make so much sense. And we are just asking, please, that we be allowed to buy new machines. I know that Kathleen got bids and this was the least expensive bid. So we would ask for permission to buy the machine.
Curious, does the copy repair guy's retirement date have anything to do with you getting a new copier?
He's like, this is his trip, like his final trip. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Although the ladies are so nice, it might influence like his coming out more frequently. I'm sure he likes the company.
One thing not to do with the copy machines, but I always, Jacqueline, enjoy reading the pinkies that come from your office because they are very clear and concise, and they are very professional. So they're nice. I wouldn't do them that good, I'll tell you that.
That is all due to our office manager, Kathleen Davidson, who worries about these, and she is so careful. We are so thankful to have her But yes, I agree. It makes my job much easier.
I move for approval.
I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded. I just have to make this comment, and this kind of piggybacks off of what Commissioner Doran said. You do a great job, almost too great of a job, because I'm busy looking at the costs, of course, and so it's a 9% increase from the bottom figure or the cheapest machine up to the next one, right? And so then I'm looking at the cost per copy. And I'm trying to figure out, because it's the total cost of operation is what they use in order to figure out that copy cost. I'm thinking, now how did you figure out that it was less than half of from one machine to the next? Anyway, that's how good of a job you did, because I started digging around thinking, now how did they figure that out? Anyway, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. District Attorney Software Purchase.
What was the next one? I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Axon.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Okay. As you can see, what we're asking for here is approval to contract with Axon Evidence and allocate yearly funds for the next 5 years for the integration of Axon Evidence and Prosecutor by Cartel, or PBK. Cartel. Those terms are used interchangeably. The cost of this is $132,515.60 over a 5-year period, which is a lot of money. But the significance of this request cannot be understated. So, as said in your pinky, we discovered digital evidence to the defense through links within our data operating system, which is PDK. We have had a partially functioning interface in place since 2022. However, now Axon is going to charge for its part in this service. If we do not pay the charge, we will lose the data connection. So I'd like to explain to you the importance of this in a context not found on your pinky. And I'm going to start by saying, here's my caveat. I am not a tech person. So if you ask me about how this interchange works or the terabytes or whatever, that is not me. But I can tell you from a practical on the ground perspective how this works. So when I started in the DA's office, and I would just beg your pardon, I know that I didn't realize we only had 3 minutes, so I'm going to go a little over. Okay, good, because especially the next one's going to go over, but this one I probably will go a little over 3 minutes. But to put this in context, so when I started at the DA's office in 2009, everything was paper and everything was a hard copy. So all discovery had to be hand discovered. I would hear my assistant with her bait stamping by hand, everything. And then everything had to be put on, at that time it was CDs, and those CDs had to be mailed out to defense attorneys, and it was a process. Discovery was a huge process. And then things changed, and Kelsey has been so kind. I bombarded her with emails last night and with slides, but I thought it would be helpful to show you kind of what the system looks like and why it's important. So Kelsey, would you mind advancing to the first actual slide with an image on it? Okay, so this is what Carpel looks like for us. You can see the name of it, and this is a closed case that resolved a while ago. You can see that too. But it, just for like context, it involved an officer-involved shooting, which was actually very, very scary, and it involved a whole bunch of law enforcement officers from Pendleton Police Department, which meant you can see from this slide that there were 250 something pages, like document pages of discovery. And what happens is the police department sends those documents into our system, into Carpel. That is then discovered over by, this is the shorthand version, by our legal assistants. And it's a matter of just essentially sending a link. It's secure, it's fast, it means that they don't have to hand bait stamp everything, and it makes for a cleaner and more precise, I would say, level of discovery. So the next foray we moved from this hand stamping paper documents into doing things electronically, which was a stressful change for me who doesn't like change, but was a beneficial change, right? Next, we move into we need to start talking about digital evidence. And the digital evidence, in about, I think, 2022, Kathleen said, and that's probably right, we started sending over digital evidence via electronic means instead of doing those CDs that I talked to you about. And there's benefits to this. First of all, one is volume. When I started, we did not have as much digital evidence as we seem to have today. We received a summary like to kind of help us present this topic to you by Carpel, and they said that like 90% of cases have digital evidence. I would say like 99% of cases have digital evidence, if nothing else because of body cam. And that is gigantic. And we have to manage that. And then, of course, now I've never seen in my cases so often, like people are busting out their cell phones and recording things. So we have those videos, we have Ring cameras. So there's this a huge amount of digital evidence that we have to manage. And so, Kelsey, could you go to the next actual slide? So you'll see in this one, I highlighted in red, but all of that is digital evidence. And that is some of it. There were 33 different videos that had to be discovered in this case. And the benefit of doing things through Carpel this way, you can see that on the right-hand side, there's these little stars that say, like, essentially what says sent, the date it was sent, and then the date it was downloaded. And if you were to hover over that, like if I were in court and the defense attorney would say, we didn't receive this discovery. If you hover over it, it'll say the date that they actually downloaded it. So it prevents this, like, sending things into the ether and hoping by U.S. mail, which of course we appreciate U.S. mail, but you never quite know, is it getting where it's supposed to go? How long is it going to get there? This is so fast. Literally, a link is sent, it goes to the defense. We can tell when we sent it. We can tell when they received it. If they, for some reason, can't find it, which happens all the time, then we can resend it. And it's all managed within the system. And of course, this is important to our office for a number of reasons, right? We have an ethical obligation to make sure that defendants are receiving full and total discovery. And if we don't fulfill that obligation, obviously our cases suffer, but from an ethical standpoint as well, like they should get it. They should absolutely have everything that they need to be able to prove their case. And that's part of our job. And then it's sent in a timely manner, which helps resolve cases, because there's nothing about a defense attorney or defendant telling their attorney, I didn't do it, faster than being able to show them a video illustrating that, in fact, they did do it. So this helps us resolve cases. And then this is efficient. So you can see, like in this situation, there were 33 videos. If our assistants had to sit and hand copy all of those onto disk, this could be hours of work. And we just have too many cases. And you all know we are looking at getting more cases coming from municipal courts, most likely. And so we have more work coming in, no more lawyers, not really more assistants. We have got to figure out a way to become more efficient in what we do, and being able to pair Axon with Carpel will allow us to do that. What you can't see here, there was another case that I found, but right now, sometimes, let's say HPD and Hermiston Police Department and Pendleton Police Department have a case, and it's like 25-1234, and both of them have that case number. Both of those videos will fall into case number 25-1234, regardless of whether it's Hermiston or Pendleton. What this new interface will do, I'm being told, is actually separate them, not only by a case number, but by the agency. So that will make us more efficient, so that the office assistants don't have to sit and pick through and say, this one actually goes to this case, this one does not. Essentially, it will make us go faster and be better. And of course, that is what we want to do. And it's also helpful, like just generally being able to move videos and have a data place is helpful. For codependent cases. So for instance, I have a case right now that happened in Pendleton during the roundup. There was a shooting. We have 2 codependents. All of that discovery has to be shared back and forth. And they're going to 2 different lawyers. So the ability to move things into files quickly without having to recopy everything is just a tremendous boon and a tremendous savings of time. I don't think there's a comparable for this particular request like we could do with the copy machines, but I will say that I believe firmly that it is worth it, that this is something that our office needs badly, and there really is not, that in talking with Kathleen and in looking at my cases, I cannot think of an alternative. And so I would ask that the commissioners approve this request, and I can stand for questions as long as they're not technologically based.
I'm just going to stop you, and I'm going to make the motion for approval on this.
I second it, but I do have questions.
Yeah.
So this, it says it's replacing the state system that you partially use. So this is going to have additional functionality that, is there going to be training?
I think Carpel usually does do training, and then the Oregon District Attorney Association does do training as well. I think part of the functionality that's going to change is this idea of moving things into specific folders. My understanding as well is that we can create trial exhibits off with this new pairing. We can create trial exhibits from PBK as far as being able to edit. So right now, like if I want to make a video for trial, Riley has showed me how, but I have to go to a different program, export it. My understanding is I'll be able to do that directly through Carpel. Correct. And I've also heard, although I'm not certain through AI, that maybe we can create transcripts. Yeah, that we can create transcripts through this program
So
too.
it's already merged with some AI program.
That's my understanding as well. Now, I'm not comfortable, I haven't messed with that. Obviously, we don't have it and I've not messed with it, but that is my understanding that this new, we interfaced fully, that we'll be able to have those features. And as far as training,
Oh, yeah, they have training videos.
My next question is, at the very start, you said that say the sheriff department has body camera. Do they download it into a system that Carpel pulls it off of?
that's my understanding is
Well,
they upload it and then send it over. Is that right?
well, we go to.
Well,
Here.
let's say not sheriff's office.
Okay.
So let's say like HPD, because sheriff's office is a little different, right?
Oh, yeah, I thought that's what you were.
Yes, but I think
It
you're
was,
just
but-
speaking generally, right, Commissioner Dorn? Like if you were saying like HPD, PPD, OSP, like they would send it up, upload it, and send it over, right?
But, you mean for the interface?
Yes,
I mean, it just falls into the case.
Carpel automatically accepts it, or
I mean,
will
it's
accept
like
it.
a light switch on. So, I
Right.
mean, whatever they've uploaded into evidence.com appears.
So whatever software they're using is already manageable by Carpel.
yes.
Yes, but with
With
evidence.com.
evidence.com. Now, I understand sheriff's office is a little bit
Yeah, they're a
different.
different company. They're a watch guard. But they're working on an interface
So you
currently.
can't do that with the sheriff's department?
Not with Exxon. It's not part of it.
Yeah, it's a different company. They're
Yeah.
competitors.
So how do you upload information from WatchGuard?
So that's the one where they put it into like a drive and then
Yeah,
we
and then
pull it over.
we download and then CDs or DVDs, but Carpel is working very closely with WatchGuard to develop.
Can merge.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we will be back.
Oh.
When we get that.
Wow, that sounds like a cumbersome. Okay, no,
How many departments use what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sheriff's
yeah.
office. All the others use evidence.
All the others use what you say.
Evidence.com, Axon.
Okay, any other discussion? Been moved and,
yeah, sorry.
all right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carried.
Nice job, Jack.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know what Dan sent you.
District Attorney conferences.
Yes, okay, I'm smiling because as you know, this is my favorite thing to talk about. And I'm gonna take a few minutes, if you don't mind, if you will, just indulge me. So the official request on your pinky is we are asking for approval to pay for food, speaker, and venue costs for our 2026 conference. We're coming back again. Our projected request is for $50,000 to $80,000. I know that's a wide range, but I just don't know what speakers are gonna charge. And I'm not exactly sure. I know food prices have gone up, so I'm not sure where that would be exactly. That range should see us through. And in past years, I've come to you and I've made this request, and I have impressed upon you my gratitude for allowing us to do this conference. And I have told you kind of the nuts, like the impetus behind it. But when I was thinking about making this request, I realized I've never shown you what this conference looks like. And I think I would like to be able to have the opportunity, because I know you all are so busy, you've never gotten to really see it, to kind of walk through what this conference is, the actual setup of it, to kind of take you through a microcosm of our child abuse conference. because you were agreeing, you are entrusting my office, me, with a lot of money. I am fully cognizant of that and deeply appreciative. So if I can just have your indulgence for just a few minutes, I just want to show you our child abuse conference. So Kelsey, if you could do the next slide. I've given up control of my clicker, which I don't usually do. In fact, when premise and I try cases, I am always in charge of the clicker. Yes, and you can see me like moving my hands, but I'm deeply appreciative to Kelsey. Don't get that wrong, but it's very difficult. So we set up at Wild Horse Casino. This is the thing that our attendees would first see is the cage. Usually Kathleen, myself, and our head of our victims advocate program are there. We sign people in. We give them their pamphlets. We give them their name tag. So one side of the name tag has their name, and the other side has a shrink down version of our schedule. This will look a little different this year because we are changing our name. This has been a discussion in our office for a long time. We are shortening it to just the Eastern Oregon Child Abuse Conference. As you know, George was a huge proponent of our conference and of our office. And so the reason we're leaving is strictly, I guess, logical. We had talked about doing merchandising, and quite frankly, this name was very long to put on a shirt or a cup. George will always be at the heart of our conference, but this year we will simply be the Eastern Oregon Child Abuse Conference. Anyway, Kelsey, if you could do the next slide. So this is the schedule that would be on the back side of that name tag that I told you that attendees get at the beginning. Our conference has 2 tracks. Track A is for law enforcement. Track B is for prosecutors. You can see that we do a DOJ day on the first day, Monday, which we don't really run. DOJ is kind enough, Department of Justice is kind enough to come down. We started with just doing a track for law enforcement. Last year they did basically a prosecutor's boot camp, and I think they're going to do that again. Our first full day is Tuesday, and you can kind of see the structure of our conference. There were 3 things that were really important to me when we were conceptualizing this conference, and I think that I have reiterated those to you over the years. The first is I wanted to bring quality programming to Eastern Oregon. I didn't want to do a conference that was good for Eastern Oregon. I wanted to do a conference that was competitive with anything that you would see on the western side of the state or in California or on the East Coast. So to that end, to get these speakers, in the evenings, I would look through those conferences' agendas, and I'd find the people that I thought were interesting, and then I would research them and reach out, and then they would get back to me. And so that's how, for instance, last year we had Dr. Sullivan come and talk. He was from the UK and was someone that people really wanted to see. A lot of these speakers aren't from our area. They're from back east or the Midwest. But the goal, again, wasn't to provide good enough training. It was to provide the best training that we could possibly provide for our people. The second most important thing was the opening session. And so there are 2 parts to that. One, you can see that I give an address. And in that address, it was important to me that obviously in that address, I talked to them about what they can expect for, the conference and all those things. I introduced premise, I introduced the office so that they'll know who to reach out for help. But it was really important to me that the conference remain focused on kids. So what I started doing was reaching out to my victims and asking them, would you please just give a statement? Just tell these people, I gave them no rules. I gave them no expectations except they explained to law enforcement, why is what you do matters? Like, I wanted to inspire them. And that was the third thing in the mornings. Every morning we do a keynote. And at first I wanted to just bombard them with information. Like we talked about, this is how fun it was. 8 o'clock in the morning, sex abuse investigations. There were like child abuse investigations, burns and blisters and broken bones. And I was like, stop. We lose such quality people because this work is just heartbreaking. So my goal in the mornings was just to really pump people up, honestly. I wanted to present speakers in the morning that would appeal across disciplines. People are doing this horrendously, amazingly important work. And I wanted to inspire them. So you'll see every morning there's a keynote, and it's about officer wellness. It's about speakers who have themselves overcome abuse. whatever it is, it's something that would touch them and I hope move them and definitely hope inspire them. So the next slide, if it plays, I hope we've embedded media, which I've not done before, is that my first or my second effort at requesting a talk from one of my victims' families. And it is, kind of gives you an idea about how things start. Is it playing, Kelsey, or no? Oh, let's hope. It's really inspiring if it does. We'll hope it works. There should be a play button. There you go. Let's see if it works. No, no volume.
There's a volume on next to the play button, wasn't there?
Oh, maybe that's, thank you, Commissioner Schaefer. That was way down. But no, it's not.
Kelsey, remember that your computer is muted.
Thank you, voice from the sky.
I'm assuming that they get to hear the victims and their story and how impactful it was for the investigators and for the prosecutors.
That's correct. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's important to me that we start this way because it's easy to get caught up. Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Like, here, it's pausing it.
If you could, all the way.
Let's see, send that out to us.
Yes. Thank you.
Maybe
So we always start with a victim's story, and it's important to me that we maintain it in victims. So the next slide, please, Kelsey. And then this is what the room looks like. You can see, so the bottom is just the empty room. We meet there every morning. That's where we do our keynotes and we do our meals. It's important to me, probably the more controversial aspect, I guess, of financially speaking, how we run this conference is we do provide lunch for our attendees. I do that for two reasons, really. One is the casino is not equipped to deal with 100 people going for lunch at the same time. It just wouldn't work. More importantly, like I said, this is such a hard field. I feel like people involved in it get isolated. I can just tell you from experience, no one wants to hear about my cases. Like, everyone's excited to hear about the drug cases, even the murders. Like, if people in the office are like, really? But the sex cases, you get a lot of these. Like, I don't want to hear it. And that's fine. And I don't want to traumatize anyone with hearing about my case, so that's not fair. But you got to talk to somebody. That's just the facts of it. So this gives people an opportunity to talk about their cases, or more importantly, to build connections so that the officer in Umatilla County has a connection on the coast, or the officer in Umatilla County has a connection with the FBI. It just builds community. And it is a unique community within law enforcement, the people who prosecute children. Then on the right hand, or who hurt children. On the right hand side, those are the tracks that you saw, A and B. So the top track is going to be your law enforcement people. We break out. You can see that we have dual screens, so everything's on PowerPoint so people can access that. And then on the bottom, our prosecutor track. And we have at all times, except for if we're doing things together, 2 tracks going throughout the day. And then next slide.
Is there more law enforcement, Jackie?
Yes, always more. We're working on trying to figure out how to get more prosecutors here. Last year, I think we had more than in past years. Part of that is we're working on offering things that will get prosecutors necessary CLEs.
Yeah.
So ethics credits, access to justice, which is kind of hard. These are newer credits. And then working on advertising as well. The other thing that we're doing this year that's a little different, right? We are down, as you know, our planning committee is Kathleen and I. Usually it's Kathleen, Brandy, and I. She's out, so it's just Kathleen and I. We are, instead of like limiting things, which would be the smart thing to do, we are adding a third track, a track C, because why not do more work with less people? for everyone who doesn't fall in the group of law enforcement or prosecutors, so DHS workers, school teachers, coaches, MDT members, forensic interviewers, and that track is going to be like the classes that I'm talking about right now are things like what I, as an ICAC, an Internet Crimes Against Children detective, think parents should know. How to talk about touching. How to talk to kids. Like, what do kids look like when they're experiencing trauma? So a more broad view, not so focused on case law, not so focused on investigation. That track is going to be limited because we're just giving it a try this year. It's like a beta testing period, probably just 1 day or 2 to see how that fills up. You can't see the videos, which is very disappointing because I was very excited to show you this year. This is why we're here today. I've contracted with, or at least had conversations to contract. Obviously, you need to approve my spending before I can actually contract them. With 2 speakers, I'll tell you about them, and then Kelsey can send out the slides and you'll be able to see them. The first is Kevin Mulcahy. And this is a funny story, a little bit. As I told you how my process in getting these speakers. So I was in my office, I'm looking through these conference agendas, and I keep seeing this name. And it's the speaker who does this presentation called Randy and Me. He's a federal prosecutor. He was sexually abused. And I look in YouTube and I find a little brief of his speech, and it's amazing. He's just a fabulous speaker. And I think this would be great. And I look on his page to see how much he costs, and I'm like, this is not great. There's no way I can bring this person out. You know, Primus lets me kind of have a free hand when it comes to my conference, but that free hand is limited when it comes to finances, which is probably a good thing because I want everything. And he's like, you can't have everything. So I think, well, I guess we'll just leave that behind. And then you guys, the commissioners, approved us going to Dallas to a child abuse conference. And that was totally an intelligence-seeking mission. So I created schedules for Primus and I, where we never attended the same sessions. And the goal was to just see as many people as we could, to bring back as many people as we could, to figure out who we wanted to bring. So I wouldn't have to sit in my office and comb through these agendas because it does take time. So I sent Primus to Kevin because I thought, maybe I'll check him out and I can, and he'll see. And he did. He came afterwards, he came out and I was like, so what'd you think? How casual, like, and he said, we have to bring him. And I said, well, he's expensive. Like, it's worth it. Just bring him out. Everyone needs to see this guy. He said, in that class, so I've only seen a little snippet of his speech. Primus saw the whole thing. He said, in that class, no one left. No one tried to make a phone call, which, as you know, is an law enforcement world. No one's on their phone. That means you are doing well. He said it was the best speech he'd ever seen. And then luckily, when I talked to him, he actually agreed to contract with us for several $1,000s less than what was quoted originally. So I was very thankful. So you'll get that presentation, and he's just a fabulous speaker and a really nice guy. And he's agreed to do 2 workshops for us. So not only will he do a keynote, he'll do 2 workshops. And then the second guy that you'll see is a guy named Sasha, and he and I started talking after I thought, well, I can't have Kevin, I need to start lining up these keynotes. And I want to do something a little different because I don't ever want to stay the same. I don't want to just go through the motions of this conference. We have the shell, plug in people, call it good, push the button and shove it out, right? Like, I want to progress, evolve. And the evolution this year is this guy named Sasha has a video that was nominated for several awards at Sundance, as well as Emmy. It was an Emmy-nominated film about his sexual abuse. And what he will do is come out and he does a screening of this video, and then he also will do a keynote. And I've spoken to him. He's a very kind human. You'll see the preview in the slides. It's a fantastic-looking film. And I think both of these speakers will be good for everyone who attends Track A, Track B, and Track C. So I'm really excited, and we are locking in good rates if I can get them before 2026, which is why we kind of wanted to get in front of you before 2026. Can you go to the last slide? I'm very proud of it, Kelsey. So all that is to say, I'm very excited about our conference this year. That's Kevin. I'm a little nervous about the audacious kind of task we're undertaking with less people than usual, and it feels like more crime, but I think it's really important. You might have to escape out and then just lock into the other one, because that's what I had to do. For some reason, it won't let me get out of YouTube.
Yeah, it just popped up on my screen.
Yeah, it's very frustrating, but if you'll just go to the last slide. But throughout it all, and I said I wanted to do something different and describe the conference, and every year I come to you and I thank you. I don't want to leave without doing that again. I appreciate your faith in my office. I appreciate your willingness to do something different and to allow a small DA's office to put on such a training. I know that it is a great extension of faith in us. I know that you are extending confidence in our ability to manage such a large amount of money. And I appreciate your willingness to allow us to help kids, not in just in our community, but throughout the communities of the people who attend. And it is not lost on me ever that that is a gift that you have given us. And I just want to say at the end of it all, beyond telling you what it is, where I'm at is to say thank you very much, because this conference is very important. I think if you'd like.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to blow on that.
Oh, my goodness.
I have just a comment, and I went to the Lipstick meeting yesterday, and Judge Temple was there, and she was talking about this increase in children that are overdosing, little tigers. And what's happening is they're getting into stuff, I mean, they're picking it up on the sidewalk, they're getting it into it at home. They haven't lost a child yet, but they've certainly come close. Is that something that you're dealing with or looking at? Okay, because believe me, by the time she was done speaking, same thing. She had everybody's attention. So, and that's something that she's apparently seeing a real increase.
Had at least, I reviewed it or gotten calls from law enforcement on at least 3 cases. One of them was particularly bad, I think, because it's bad when the little ones are born, obviously, and they get into it. Maybe as bad or worse when they're unborn, and because there's less recourse for us. We just recently had a call from people about that. We are seeing influx. Injuries or child ingestion of controlled substances, which causes crazy problems.
I mean, we're talking like, little, you know, can walk to 8 or 10.
Yes,
I mean, little
ones, or even, I mean, I've had cases where not walking, but just, I would argue, because these people are smoking meth, fentanyl, whatever. I mean, these babies can't move, so it's just ingested because it's in the air, like the smoke is coming, or they're in a car and that's happening. It's shocking to me. You know, we value, like we see these people and we see these ads, like we value our cars and we value our clothes and we value our shoes, but we are so casual with our children. Not we as in people in this room, obviously, but I think society at large, frequently, we treat these little ones so casually, and they are so fragile, and we are willing to invest in, I don't know, all these things, which I think is what separates, again, you guys, this board, this body from so many, is your willingness to invest in kids, which is by far more valuable to me than my shoes or my clothes or my car. You know, it just boggles, like if you sit back and think about it, how people are willing to put their money into and their time, and also how cruel people can be. And I've stopped, after I've been doing this for a while, I've stopped trying to understand it. I just accept that it is and then try to keep kids safe, because I don't understand how you can abuse, like look at a child and see that as an object of sexual desire, how you can eat a child or break their bones. I don't understand, and I hope I never do.
We appreciate your work.
I still hear calls that I've taken over the years. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff.
Assessment and taxation.
Been waiting so patiently. Oh, you only have one item, not 3? Pretty impressive.
That's gonna be a tough show to follow.
You want Jackie to present for you?
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't have a PowerPoint.
So my name is Rachel Reynolds. I'm the Director of Assessment, Taxation, and GIS, and I am here today You have in front of you a pinky that has a summary attached of 2 quotes for aerial imaging for Umatilla County. Eagle View and Near Map are the two companies that we acquired quotes from. Between the two, Eagle View came in a lot cheaper, but also we have a lot more abilities with Eagle View as far as the product. The end product that is user-friendly. We're looking at going into the Eagle View and getting the pictometry for safety reasons out in the field. Ability to do desktop appraisals, which is IAA approved. There'll be less driving expenses, less of our staff out on the road, especially during winter weather times when safety is of concern. So today we're requesting to authorize contracting with Eagle View under Plan A of the attached for a contract not to exceed $119,500 a year for 6 years. And you've got images of the mapping attached. And here, a report from the planning department and email from Eagle View as well.
I think it's an incredible program. I think it fits right in with Umatilla County's mission statement, our strategic goals, and I'd move for approval.
I would second that, and I also know that there's going to be benefits for other departments as well. So,
Yes. Yes, for planning department, code enforcement, emergency management. If we have another disaster in the county, they will come in and apply for free, so we can do a very quick analysis of what that looks like versus people on the field. Potential down the road, maybe even the road department, sheriff's department.
Yeah. Just as a comment, I know that Bob's working with Tom on the CPU permit for the Old Anderson Rock permit. This would be almost pay for itself just in that information that you could overlay on that permit process. Yes, I do.
It's been moved and seconded. Any more comments? I appreciate all the good information. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Emergency vehicle storage facility.
This matter is going to be part of the board to seek approval for the issuance of an invitation to bid. This is to go out and acquire a modular facility for the storage of Snowcat and other emergency vehicles.
The funding for this RFP is supplied by Amazon.
did you move?
No, move for approval.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. ATV ordinance. Well, we will now move out of our regular meeting into a public hearing. The meeting is now open to the floor for public comment on ATV ordinance.
Okay, the proposed ordinance is back before the board for further review. The changes that I made most recently are highlighted in yellow. Primarily, it relates to what roads that are being covered by the ordinance. The map that is attached shows those and lists those roads, and also in Exhibit B, it separately lists the roads that would be portions of the road that would be available for ATV use.
Are there any comments or questions? All right. Well, we'll go ahead and we're going to move out of public hearing and back into our regular meeting.
I would move to adopt ordinance number 2025-08.
Second, it's been moved.
Okay.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. I second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
What? Oh, I'm sorry, Dan, excuse me. Been moved and seconded. Are there any comments?
Yeah, the one thing I want to point out is that there were two things that we discussed when you first brought this to us, so that we'd be able to monitor this program. One was permits and a annual review. Neither of those are in this document. And I think that we are setting ourselves up for exactly what some of the other public works folks said in the email that we received from Tom Fellows, is that we've got to have vehicle or creep on this ordinance. And we're also going to have no way to monitor or enforce this ordinance. We're not expanding our sheriff's department. We're not expanding permitting. We're not expanding verification of insurance. I just think we've gone so far. I know that a lot of times safety's been mentioned, but this is definitely not anything to do with safety. This ordinance is not a safety ordinance at all. So, and for those reasons, I'm going to vote no.
Dan, I appreciate everything you've brought up on this ordinance. And believe me, I've jumped through a lot of hoops on this deal and I've learned a lot. So I appreciate all of your feedback, that's for sure. And as far as the permitting goes, the permits are coming from the Park Service, is what I understand. And then two, like I said, with safety, if we can save one life on this deal, it's going to be worth.
What if we
Gonna be
create
worth
a
it.
loss of life?
I'm going to say that it's going to go that other direction on this.
No way.
So, where I respectfully disagree. But I appreciate all of your comments, that's for sure. And all of your, everything that you brought up. Thank you. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion passes. Thank you. South Springs Ski Area.
This matter before the board is consideration of acting as a facilitator for the sale and redevelopment of the Spout Springs Ski Area and Resort. The Forest Service has approached the county with the scenario of having the county assume ownership of all of the assets of the resort, excluding the real property, and then have the county issue a request for proposal for developers that would go in and redevelop the area as a ski resort and other matters. And then will be receive the assets that the county has, and then we'll have to negotiate with the Forest Service for at least for the real property. So it's envisioned that the county will be investing time in this, but
Thanks, Doug. Good. That recap was a lot shorter than what I would have done.
No.
I'd move for approval.
It's been moved and seconded. And Dan, or Commissioner Doran, what would you have added?
A lot of fluff.
Okay, well, how about just,
Through his meetings.
well, and I think it's a wonderful idea. And you've taken a tour of the facility? Okay. Two? Okay. And so, there's still stuff in the restaurant, there's still keys up there, there's still equipment,
Yep.
the whole business.
I don't know how much of it's usable still there. I think that it's pretty easily able to identify the lack of economic development on that ski resort was not operational, including property prices.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Walla Walla Watershed Council appointments.
the board has been requested to reappoint 4 members of the Walla Walla Watershed Council. And there is one vacancy that's identified as a wildlife representative, and the proposed individual to fill that is Mark Patino. And so the request is to appoint him as well as reappointing Katie Clifton, Jack Priest, Usby, and Kevin Stryker.
Requirement that these folks live in Umatilla County or
They
in
have
the
to, they
state.
have to reside in the area.
In the area.
At the-
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Operating agreement?
This is coming before the board to approve an agreement to operate the central water irrigation, excuse me, the central pipeline. Westland Irrigation District had multiple conversations with them. They are willing to do it. And what's before the board is a draft of an agreement with them. The initial cost will be $182,000 a year, and the agreement is proposed for a 5-year term, and each year will have a 3% increase in amount of payment to the district.
I think a key piece in that is the cost for the operation of the pipeline will be reimbursed by the users of the system.
Yes, there's no,
I would move approval.
Been moved and seconded. I just think that this whole project is so interesting. I mean, it really is. There's so many moving pieces to it. That's for sure. So, and the users, these are folks that aren't getting water right now. These will be new users.
well, they have for the past 2 years, we have been providing services through to the city, currently to the city of Umatilla. And this now will be going through the new pipeline in 2026.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carries.
Thank
you. Anything for the good of the order?
Were you gonna bring a budget for the signage?
Well, the only thing I could say on that is that I talked to Tom once again, and he said that frontage would not, the signage costs would not change $30,000. And I checked with Robert, and there is funding available.
You gonna bring a,
I can bring a budget.
you can bring a pink?
I can.
We have to spend the money.
What is the? Yes.
Yes, we'll be bringing one forward. Thank you.
So yes.
Thank you. Do you have anything else?
No.
Commissioner Schaefer or Dory?
That's it. Merry Christmas to everybody. If we
Merry
don't have
Christmas.
another meeting. If we have another meeting, I'll do it again.
Okay, all right.
Could be after Christmas too.
You can say it'll be
Better be before the 30th.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned.